Okay, everybody ready? You straight enough? In line?
Perfect. Everybody in focus.
All right, thank you all for coming today. Thank you especially to the people behind me. We stand here united against a 125-unit homeless shelter that the city is planning to ram down this community's throat. This is the wrong location and it's the wrong size. These people behind me are good people. This community's been taking care of homeless for a long time in small shelters run by churches in small groups. Those are the type of shelters that a community can handle, and we always have handled. Not 125 families. These kids will have to go into these overcrowded schools. No neighborhood can absorb 125 homeless families in one shot. This is the wrong place for it. It's the wrong size. And by the way, why is this happening? We have to think of the policies that are causing this to happen. You know why this is happening? Because the courts took over our homeless policy here. And they have decreed that anyone who seeks shelter is automatically entitled to a unit, like one of these. And the city council, in its wisdom, has said we can't even check to see if they're entitled to a unit like one of these, if they have the income necessary, if they're even from New York City. We have people coming from all over the country. One of the recent estimates I read was almost 10,000 per year coming from all over the country for a bonanza like this, for free housing paid for by the people behind me, because the courts have taken over our homeless policy. And now they want the courts to take over our police department. This is an example of the courts run amok, sheltering anyone who demands it from all over the country in a community like this, and it's wrong. I stand here with the good people of Glendale and the Juniper Civic Association and so many others to oppose this. And speaking of which, I'll be back, but I want to bring up Bob Holden, who's been leading the effort against this and who's the president of the Juniper Civic Association. Bob?
Thank you, Councilman Vallone. And we thank you for coming out today and making this an issue in the borough president's race. Middle Village is right across the street. So this is not a Glendale issue, obviously only. It's also a neighborhood and a Middle Village issue and an area issue, the Queens issue. But this is an area, a solid middle-class neighborhood. We work hard to make a living. We don't have subways here. We take buses into the city. We have to take a bus to the subway. You see a subway around here? So if you put a homeless shelter, 125 families, where's the transportation? It doesn't make any sense. By the way, every mayor since Wagner has proposed a homeless shelter in either Glendale or Middle Village, and we defeated it, and we're going to defeat this one. They signed a lease already, but they signed a lot of leases, these kind of companies. And they come in, and it's also an environmental nightmare. It needs remediation, obviously, and it's going to cost a lot. Now, we have a lot of seniors in our neighborhood. Why not assisted living for seniors here? Why not that? For our people, for the people in the neighborhood, for our mothers and grandmothers. Why not that? Instead, we get this shoved down our throat, and we will fight it. And this has to be an issue in the borough president's race. This has to be an issue. It has to be an issue in the mayoral race. It must. And certainly in the council race. And so far, again, this thing was up last year and it resurfaced. The residents are not going to stand for this, and we will battle and battle and battle. And again, I want to thank Peter Vallone for coming out today and making this initiative. Thank you.
Bob is right. It's obviously not just Glendale. I mean, we have with us the head of the Maspeth Middle Village Task Force.
Our main concerns into the neighborhoods are revitalization. Right now we see the growth in the city, all new business coming in, entrepreneurs like the stand in the courtyard right here. $5 million worth of investment into a neighborhood to make sure for future that we can enjoy places like this. Bringing jobs into the neighborhood, complementing Atlas Mall, multi-million dollars, bringing businesses and jobs into the neighborhoods. Something like this shouldn't be shoved down the community, and the infrastructure couldn't hold it. Our schools are overcrowded, our trains, our buses, we have no trains, our buses are overcrowded, and it's something that shouldn't be forced into our community. I commend Peter Vallone coming out to bring it to everyone's attention. We just can't have this. I know several businesses that would love to buy this business to make sure they could use something that would attract jobs for the neighborhood, that would be more complacent. So it's nothing, you know, even though someone's looking into it, it proves that the person who owns this building is not a good Samaritan. And we want to see that it's not down here and that they don't make it into something that's not needed for the neighborhood. Thank you so much.
One of the other reasons it's coming to a location like this is because the owner is offered more money by the city than any private person could compete with. They're offering him our tax money to put this here. That's why these owners, that's why the city can ram these things in, because they're coming in and overpaying for places like this and outbidding people who want to actually put something here which is going to help the community. By the way, we're standing on a beautifully renovated patio where the owner is, well, Severio Stonefire Bistro. They just put $5 million into this location. That's what we need to encourage, that type of investment in communities. And to have someone put that sort of, and one of the owners is standing right here with us, and we're trying to encourage them in manufacturing neighborhoods like this, to bring them up, to make them part of the economic recovery of Queens that we need here, and to hurt them, and to hurt our private investment with something like this, which is too big, too out of character, and in the wrong location. It's bad for this community, and it's bad for Queens. Actually, one of the owners whose name I did not get.
Fabio.
Fabio.
Yes, how you doing, guys?
Irish, like me.
All right.
All right.
Yes.
I'd like to say a few words. How you doing, Fabio?
All right. There are three partners that are involved in this. Obviously, it is a big blow to not only our business but the community. I do live in the neighborhood. I live in Middle Village. This building has been vacant for 20 years, and we've done pretty much our life into this place. And now to come around and start this homeless shelter, we don't know nothing about it. We're told that it has security and all that, but at the end of the day, we really don't know too much about it. And obviously, it could damage our business, and we don't want that to happen. Obviously, we funded this whole place ourselves, so to have something come and ruin us like that will pretty much damage a lot of families, not only us, and also for the neighborhood. We don't want that. So I'm hoping that we can fight it and we'll get something done. And I appreciate everybody doing the best that they can. All right, thanks, guys.
I just want to reiterate again, these are good people behind me, and we all understand we have an obligation to take care of people who can't take care of themselves. But the way to do that is, first of all, to ensure those people are actually in need of help, which is not happening. And secondly, to make sure that there are small locations where communities can absorb these people and help them. The way we're doing in this neighborhood, with small church-run facilities that were funded by the government, small non-for-profits funded by the government. The government has been cutting funding to those small groups and instead putting these massive locations into communities which they cannot absorb. So I think we're open for some questions now if you have any. Pretty self-explanatory, but Liam?
So you guys are completely against any homeless shelter in Glendale Mill Village at all, or you want a smaller location?
No, they've had them here in the past, and they've been defunded, and I have never stood with people against those locations, because we all understand that we need to take care of our brothers and sisters who can't take care of themselves. Most neighborhoods I've been to in Queens are not concerned about small shelters, 8, 9 families, something like that, and they can be absorbed into a community. They can be absorbed into our schools and onto our roads and into our things like that. But something that 125 families. I mean, if you figure each family is 3 people, do the math. Because I'm out of school for a long time. What?
175.
Is that what it is? Good for you. I'm chair of public safety, not me. So yeah, no, we're not opposed to anything. We're opposed to something this size and at this location. By the way, in the past, they have tried to put a recreation center here, and the city came and said it's too contaminated. They tried to put a, what's the second thing?
School.
A school. A needed school here, and the city said it's too contaminated. But all of a sudden, when the city wants to do a homeless shelter, contamination isn't a problem. I'd like them to answer that question also. Any other questions?
Yeah, I would like to ask the press, where will the kids play? You tell me where the kids can play here. Where are they going to go? There'll probably be 400 kids. Where do they play?
That's a very good point. I mean, the point here, this is a manufacturing neighborhood. There's nothing here for families.
The railroad is behind it.
And this is a very dangerous street that we're looking at. This is not a place to raise your family. This specific's blocked right here.
It's like I work down by Hansel and Gretel. We're concerned because we got tractor trailers here, coming down all day long. How about if the kids go down there,